sign us up. We're finally back. The ref is back. This is going to be probably a little bit of a jank stream. There's going to be some problems, but this is the first of hopefully many. I know this Saturday we're planning on doing a Sign Me Up Saturday, maybe in the morning, depending on how I feel when I wake up. But it's good to have y'all back. You know, life is crazy. I've been planning to come back to YouTube for quite a while. Hopefully y'all can hear me. We should probably do a sound test, but it's been a while. Let me know in the chat if everything's good, bad, and different. But yeah, life's crazy, right? We've been working on a lot of different projects, trying to figure out what we're going to do when we come back. And, you know, the day that we switched over all our graphics to the Ref Says, the day that we switched all of our social media to the Ref Says, what happens? News comes out that the XFL might be returning. So just when you think you're done, they pull you back in. But that doesn't mean we don't have a lot of other cool little projects going on. So we're going to talk about those today. We're going to talk about the return of sports, some timelines for baseball, hockey, look at some of the things going on with the NFL, look at some new sports. Most importantly, like I said, we're going to talk about, is the XFL returning? What do we know so far? If so, what cities are in play? We have some details on all of them. And then I think what we're going to do is we're probably going to end this stream by opening up some packs of the XFL trading cards. We also have this one here. Something, maybe we do this bad boy on Saturday. Then I have some other funny things lined up. And maybe you can do a little bit of homework. Saturday, we're probably going to take a look at this video on YouTube called Behind the Bash. I'll leave it at that. You can do your homework. But either way, we're going to talk about that this Saturday. Sign Me Up Saturday. Maybe sign me up Saturday morning. It depends on how much fun Papa has the night before. But you know what? We're going to kick this bad boy off. So it is Memorial Day. I needed a nice summer drink. We're going to cheers to everyone. Thanks again for joining us. I see the Shooting Gallery Wrestling Podcast is talking trash to me in the chat. And like I said, he's part of these new plans. So hold your horses there, young man. We'll get to you. We're going to get to all things part of the newsroom. We're getting all the newsroom stuff getting here. But first, we're going to crack this bad boy open. The claw is the law. I would have got the Bud Light Seltzer, but they don't have the ruby red grapefruit flavor. Come on, Bud Light. You got to be hooking me up here. So let's take a look at some news. So what happened yesterday? We saw some pretty cool things. The match. We had Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Phil Mickelson, and Tiger Woods kind of battling it out in a more fun environment. But you know what it was? It was sports on television. More importantly, it was live sports on television. Again, hopefully you guys can hear me. We're probably going to test a couple things out here too. Actually, we're not going to test that out yet. But let's take a look. Let's take a look at what I think maybe some of the highlights of the match were yesterday. So we're going to try this bad boy out. Hopefully all my contraptions work the way that they should. And again, let me know if the volume doesn't work here. But like I mentioned, during the match, probably the best part of it was the entertainment, just the banter back and forth between everybody involved. Peyton Manning, he's kind of a character. Tom Brady, love him or hate him, he's kind of a character. But I love this clip when Peyton Manning's talking about who he would pick as a caddy. So we're going to take a look here and listen to this.
In the world, especially down here, and my partner, Brady, we were talking, he would have brought Brooks Gronkowski because Gronk does whatever Gronk asks him to do. Gronk will wrestle, take a year off, come play in Tampa with me later, come caddy for me. It's hard to get to him, right? But, so who, do you bring Eli? Who do that? You bring Nick Foles? Maybe. day for me. And just to see how that kind of would have worked. I mean, now, it might not have been good for me.
Here's the good one right here. I love it.
Still brings up bad things for me as well.
I love it. I love it. It's just, again, good old fun. You don't see a lot of that in sports. But we're going to move on. So this was probably the highlight of the day. Just check out this shot that the GOAT Tom Brady does here. Everyone kind of gave him a hard time. I'll tell you, he was not playing very good. Neither of the quarterbacks were. Let's take this bad boy back here. Now, look at this. This is a masterful shot. This is something you would see maybe in an amateur Masters. Look at the curve there. And again, the banter not only between the players and the commentary folks was great because we're talking about the best moments here. We're not going through all the recaps. We're not going through everything. But there is the best line of the whole show when Charles Barkley gets called out. You got to hear this one.
TV, welcome to the match.
Oh, no, sorry. We skipped one. Yeah, this was after Tom Brady's awesome shot. Got a little breezy out there, split his pants. Under Armour's probably not feeling too good about this endorsement right here. But, yeah, sorry. We're going to move on now to the best line of the show.
Hey, clear,
Let's just rewind this here.
All right, this is Mickelson for the win.
Chuck, I'd love to see your fat ass try to jump a basketball.
Hey, clear.
Dive.
JT, you can't call me fat on TV. That's
No.
bullying.
It's 2020 now.
I'm going to call HR on you.
I'm sorry, Chuck. I take it back.
Again, I don't know the last time I heard such good banter in sports, but I need this to be happening every weekend from now on. Get Charles Barkley doing some more golf. Get people call him a big fatty boy. I love it. Either way, like I said, we're just having fun today. This is kind of just a test return. Some of these are probably going to be pre-recorded, but I wanted to test out the live stuff. It's been a while. Like I said, especially we have a lot of crazy things to talk about here. It's been a while. Like I said, life is crazy. Just when I thought the XFL was done, we get pulled back in. But before we even start talking about the XFL, let's talk about the return of sports. Right? It seems like sports are coming back. We just had the Coca-Cola 600 last night. Brad Keselowski won. The Indy 500's back. We're starting this, well, not starting, but the Drone Racing League, they've kind of supplemented what they're doing. They're using their simulator, which is pretty cool. I'll tell you, I tried it out over the weekend, and I'm not very good. Not very good at flying drones, but maybe one day with this simulator, I'll be as good as some of those kids out there. But they're going to be coming back. But I wanted to look at the biggies, right? So we know we have some information on the NBA coming back. Figure we'll look at that. They actually put out a statement earlier this week, right? We're starting to see a lot of this news come out now. The Heat's coming back. We don't know if fans are going to be there. We don't really know the structure on a lot of these things. It seems like the NFL's coming back. We're hearing kind of conflicting things when it comes to college. Some schools say yes. Some schools say no. So we might even see a split. What's happening, everybody in the track? Christian, how you doing, buddy? Jake's there. I'm telling you, it's good to be back. I was gonna wear the ref shirt, but it's a little too damn hot in Texas right now. We start summer early. We're already there. I got the fan going, so hopefully that's not screwing with the mic. But as you can see, I got not only the quarantine hair, but I got the quarantine belly a little bit as well. I need to maybe drop a couple pounds here. But let's take a look. Let's take a look at some of these news items we got here. So the NBA is in talks to resume play at Disney's ESPN Wide World of Sports complex. So if you don't know what that is, outside of Disney World in Orlando, there's a big sports complex. They have I think 3 or 4 basketball courts. I think they have a football field. They probably have a soccer facility, maybe a hockey facility. They have a whole bunch of things going on down there. And it looks like the NBA is trying to finish their season in one capacity over at Disney's ESPN Wide World of Sports complex. So this is the statement that came out earlier this week. The NBA, in conjunction with the National Basketball Players Association, is engaged in exploratory conversations with the Walt Disney Company about restarting the 2019-2020 NBA season in late July at Disney's ESPN Wide World of Sports complex in Florida as a single site for an NBA campus for games, practice, housing. So everything, the practices, the players are going to basically live there. Think of Olympic Village for the NBA. This is what's going on right here. Our priority continues to be health and safety for all involved, and we're working with public health official experts and government officials on a comprehensive set of guidelines to ensure that appropriate medical protocols and protections are in place. Either way, I'm loving it, right? So this goes on to say there really isn't much detail on what they're going to be doing. Are they going to be finishing the season? Are they going to jump right into playoffs? Those details are starting to be kind of fleshed out. It sounds like we're going to have probably some more news by the end of this week. So maybe Sign Me Up Saturday, maybe on Sign Me Up Saturday, we will talk about when the NBA is returning. Hey, what's happening, Ray Dizzy? My man, life is good. Hey, we're back on YouTube. We're having fun. It's Memorial Day. We're drinking some Claw. We're talking about sports returning. This is more, it's kind of a casual episode. We're just having a little bit of fun before I light up that grill and pray that the rain does not come. But it is Texas, and Texas has a few rules. One of them being it always rains on holidays. So it's sunny right now. The broadcast says it's going to rain a little bit later. We're hoping not. Big Daddy's hoping not. We got some burgers. We got some dogs. We want to have some fun. But either way, NBA, I'm thinking if they do come back, we'll probably just jump right into the playoffs. Maybe have like 1 week of action just to tie up some loose ends if there's some tiebreakers, things like that, and then jump into the playoffs. Either way, I'm just excited to see that sports are on the way. So now we talked about the NBA. Let's talk about the NHL. So the NHLPA board approves league's plan for 2014 playoffs upon return. We can't say that word. It's a dirty word on YouTube. Cannot say it. It's 5 o'clock right here. I'll tell you what. So let's take a look. Let's see when the NHL, what the deal is there, because it seems like we have a little bit more details here. So here's the statement. Executive board, blah, 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 has authorized further negotiations with the NHL on a 2014 return to play format to determine the winner of the 2020 Stanley Cup. Several details remain to be negotiated as such, and an agreement on the format would still be subject to the parties reaching agreement on all issues relevant to resuming play. So one thing that I didn't mention during the NBA segment is something that it may be a holdup on some of this is the owners of the stadiums and the teams are losing revenue, so they may not be just open to letting their star players play in a different style, or not style, but in a different location that they don't necessarily have control over. So that could be an issue with some of these things. I still think we come through. Maybe some of this gets truncated a little bit. It is 12:15 in Houston, and that means it's drinking time, at least on holidays and weekends. So let's take a look. What is the plan here for the NHL? So under the plan, the top 4 seeds in each conference, determined by their standings, points, percentage when the regular season was paused March 12th, will receive byes through the round of best-of-5 play-in series featuring seeds 5 through 12. Those play-in series would determine which teams advance to a traditional 16-team Stanley Cup playoff bracket, which would have 7-game series. So again, like I was saying with the NBA, where we might see some type of lead-in to that playoff, this is what the NHL is looking at. So they had a long, intense conference call last Thursday night to discuss the format. The vote was conducted over the next 24 hours, blah, 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 blah. Either way, we have some sports coming back. So let's see. If this proposal happened, this is what the playoff series would look like. In the Eastern Conference, top seeds, Boston Bruins, Tampa Bay Lightning, Washington Capitals, Philadelphia Flyers. Then the play-in series to get really into the playoff. We have the Penguins, the Canadiens, the Hurricanes, Rangers, Islanders, Panthers, Maple Leafs, and the Blue Jackets. Sadly, no Detroit Red Wings. Sadly. Next year. Stevie Y is back. He's building the team just like he did in Tampa Bay. They at least got one championship out of it. They may have got more. I don't know. Western Conference, top seeds. This is going to be a big one for all of our fans out there. St. Louis Blues, Colorado Avalanche, the Golden Knights of Vegas, and the Dallas Stars. In the series to get in, we have the Oilers, Blackhawks, Predators, Coyotes. Amazingly, the Arizona Coyotes are in the playoffs and the Red Wings aren't. The Vancouver Canucks, Minnesota Wild, Calgary Flames, and the Winnipeg Jets. So we will have maybe we'll do a sign me up Saturday on the Winnipeg Jets and the Arizona Coyotes. And either way, that's a whole story for a different day. There was push among some players to reseed the teams after the first round. So again, this is all still being negotiated. Fans, this one we know, fans will not be allowed to be at the games. We don't know. I don't know if it talks about where. Okay, so they're looking at, so this is what I remember hearing. The NHL explored using 4 hub arena sites for the restart. Gary Bettman on Monday said 8 or 9 locations are under consideration. Las Vegas looking like to be the favorite. You know what I think they should do? I think they should do it right here in Houston because nobody has an advantage and I can go see some hockey. And hopefully it gives somebody a reason to want to bring a hockey team here. We'll see. So either way, that's hockey. So let's look at some baseball. What's the deal with baseball? Well, we've heard a lot of different things, right? So I've heard, this is going way back, that they were looking at just playing the games in their spring training locations. So out in Arizona and Florida, which I think is a pretty neat idea. They already have all the stadiums. They're probably not going to allow fans, or if they do, it's going to be very limited. If you've never been to a spring training game, they're pretty cool, right? You can just they do have regular seats, but if you want, you can just bring out a blanket, go sit in the grass and watch a baseball game. You'll never hear me complain about that. Hey, you listen up here, J-Dash. The Astros may have admitted to cheating, but I don't know if it was ever proved that they cheated. I won't say one way or the other, but we still have a championship ring. That's all that matters. That's all I care about. So let's take a look. Let's take a look at baseball. What is the situation? So get out of here, video. So the condensed campaign, the return campaign, sounds like it'll start in July, have an expanded playoff format, and feature a long list of safety protocols for both the players and the personnel. So basically, here's what it boils down to: is you cut the season in half. So 162, you basically bring it down to 82. Not right in half, but right there. 30-man active rosters with 20-player taxi squad. 14 teams in the postseason with games played in home cities in October. So there is at least a potential return to home field advantages in October for like the end of the playoffs here, and a 50-50 revenue split for the players and the owners. So that kind of touches on that point that we talked about earlier, getting over that hurdle of who gets compensated, how they get compensated, and all of that stuff. So let's take a look here. So the most recent update here is the players are expected to make a counteroffer. They probably want more money, maybe some more safety procedures, things like that. I know they were talking about changing up the conferences. I don't know if that's what they'll end up doing here. But either way, either way, we have sports coming back. That's really the big message of the day. sports are coming back. In a time when, I don't know, if you asked me in March, and I don't want to say things are getting back to normal by any means, because they're not, right? They're not getting back to normal. But if you would have asked me back in March, will we see these leagues come back? Will the NFL play this fall? My answer wouldn't have been yes. It maybe wouldn't have been no, but there would have been some uncertainty there. If you ask me now, clearly we have sports coming back. We're at least seeing races. Again, no fans. We have the drone racing league, which is a really cool concept. Let's take a second to talk about them really quick, right? So again, when you look at the things that have been happening during this pandemic and companies that were able to kind of keep chugging along as opposed to companies that weren't, the drone racing league had something really cool at their disposal, and that was their simulator software that they had created. You can get it on Steam. I think it's $10, right? I picked it up over the weekend. I tried to play it. Maybe we'll do it on stream one day, and you can see how horrible of a drone pilot I am. But what they were able to do is shift from doing their live races, right? And it's really cool. So if you don't know what drone racing is, you kind of get an obstacle course with little hoops that you have to fly through. It's really intense. It's really fast. You might think, well, how do they fly it if it's a big course? Well, they have like VR goggles that connect to GoPros that are on these drones. So they get a first-person view of everything that the drone sees, right? So it's basically 8 or so people with goggles on flying their drones. So they took that, and rather than suspending the season, they shifted and started using their simulator software. And so far, they've been able to at least keep broadcasting every Sunday on NBC Sports Network at 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Central, I guess noon Pacific, right? But when you look at the simulator, I was watching some videos on how they created it and how realistic it is to a true real life drone. And they used all of these little modules to calculate the movements, the speed, and they match it up. So basically they can take real life drone footage, use one pilot to pilot a real life drone and a virtual drone, and match up the lines, and it's pretty perfect. And you can even adjust the gravity, the weight, if you change attachments in the simulator. It's pretty cool. Either way, we're getting off subject. I figure it was worth bringing up because it's one of those things that during this crazy time, that's one of the things I've been doing. I've been watching some drone races on Sunday. But let's get to it. Let's get to it here. Will the XFL return? Let's circle back to the beginning of this live stream. So last week, the very day that we decided to change our social media accounts, change everything over, news came out that the XFL may be returning. I'm sure you've probably heard the news by now. You probably know a lot of the details, but I figure it's worth kind of going over and seeing kind of what's going on here. What do we know? What are the specifics, right? So we're going to go over a little bit of backstory here. So boom. So the first one here is, if you didn't know who was looking to purchase the XFL, or at least reportedly, this is coming from maybe disgruntled creditors. So we don't know how true this is. But it seems that Vince McMahon may be trying to buy back his own XFL from bankruptcy. And you might think, how is that even a thing? Is that even a possibility? Can you do that? Can you buy back your own company from bankruptcy? Well, you can. You can. And a lot of it comes down to Vince McMahon became a creditor for the XFL when he loaned them money for their season ticket refunds. And if you notice, that's one of the things that the creditors are really they're having a problem with is paying back that money. But in all reality, it seems like, however you look at it, and we're going to go with the pros and cons on this. We're not going to pull any punches here. But Vince McMahon may have had a very genius move to evade a lot of debt and keep his company. But we're going to get to it. We'll get to it. Let's look at the details here. So, a little background first. As you know, the XFL kicked off February 8th. It was way better than anyone expected, at least the casual fan. There was a lot of XFL fans kind of going, they already built up a good fan base. As a person that lived in Houston, we went to all the season whatever events. Sorry, my wife's getting me a claw and I'm getting all flustered here. But yeah, we went to all the fan engagement events, and you could see each event there was more and more fans. But the casual fans that came after it, they seemed to embrace the product. We were still cracking over 1 million viewers per game. St. Louis was looking at selling over 50,000, maybe 55 to 60,000 for that Game 7 at the Dome against the Wildcats. And of course, that never happened because of the circumstances involved with everything. But this XFL was definitely a success that we haven't seen in spring football leagues in quite a while, right? You look at the original XFL, the WFL, the UFL, the AAF, the Alliance of American Football. How could I forget them? And they were doing well. And it all really came down to the people behind the scenes, the people behind the curtains, right? You had your Oliver Lucks, your Sam Schwartzsteins, the Bailey Carson even, right? The social media guy. All of these ingredients, not even counting the coaches and the players, were what made this XFL different, better. It was football focused with just a little bit of a twist. Not really gimmicks, just a little bit of a twist. Not really to make it different, but to cater to a couple things. The different types of people that would be watching the game, the players that would be playing in it. And if you don't watch the CFL, it was really close to the CFL. And the CFL, is very much football, just like the NFL. The NFL is. So either way, we're going to run through a couple things here. First, the league announced they were going to suspend the season. And at the time, they said the XFL is committed to playing a full season in 2021 and future years. That statement came from XFL president Jeffrey Pollock, who is still with the organization. March 20th, those rumors kind of dissipated. That we were going to get a playoffs. There were still some fans hoping. June Jones even said, hey, look, Vince McMahon said the season's suspended, maybe not the playoffs. Well, those rumors, those went away March 20th when the league sent a letter to its season ticket holders canceling the rest of the season. Still promising a 2021 return. But then things started going sideways. So April 9th, franchises sent notes to the season ticket holders letting them know that their deposits for the 2021 season tickets was going to be refunded. And at the time, the reasoning was they knew that fans needed money in their pockets during these times, right? And we're going to get to this season ticket thing in a little bit more detail. We touched on it a little bit at the beginning of this topic, but we're going to go into that in a little bit more detail because I think that the season ticket refunds, there's a lot more strategy to that than you may think, right? But either way, so that was April 9th. April 10th, so, things were looking bad. People were still hoping that 2021 was going to happen. Me personally, when I saw the ticket deposits be refunded, I knew something was probably not right. Things were pretty quiet on the league side, and at the same time, I really didn't want to be poking and prodding around. And I'm glad I didn't, because the next day, news started coming out that Jeffrey Pollock held we said 10-minute here, but I've heard from a few different folks, it was actually a 4-minute call. And announced that that they would be suspending operations immediately. most, and when I say most, I mean like almost everybody was let go. Only a very few people were kept on to maintain like business, right? So we're talking mainly the shop, so shop.xfl.com, and Jeffrey Pollock, the president, and very few others. The social media people definitely aren't there, as we know, because Bailey Carson's over at Barstool. Congrats, brother. That's an awesome job, and I think you're going to be a perfect fit. So, more bad news. You know, when they say when it rains, it pours. Well, this situation is no different. So, at the time of the conference call, it didn't sound like Oliver Luck was there. People didn't know if Oliver Luck was still with the company. We learned shortly after that, no, in fact, he wasn't. Before we get to that, though, the Monday after the league suspended operations, laid everybody off. Sorry, I'm going a little bit out of order here. The league filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. Now, that's when, everybody kind of said, oh, okay. There were still some people holding out hope, but a lot of folks, that was kind of it. That was the nail in the coffin. That was, oh crap, I don't think they're coming back. Either way. But we did learn our answer about Oliver Luck, and it turns out, and this is the con, the sad. Even if it comes back, there's going to be that lingering moment in the background. But again, I would love to hear everybody's opinion on this. I'll actually pull up the chat here. So we learned that before the league suspended operations, before the league filed bankruptcy, they let go of CEO and Commissioner Oliver Luck. Now, Oliver Luck is a guy that I credit, and I think a lot of other people credit, for the reason that the XFL was so successful this time around. Now, again, he's not the only reason. There's a lot of moving pieces. There's the coaches, the executives, the team presidents, the marketing people, the social media people. But without Oliver Luck and without his vision for what this version of the XFL was going to look like, I don't think it would have been the success that it was. And so it came out that Oliver Luck was suing Vince McMahon for wrongful termination. And there wasn't many details. They were kind of hidden in the lawsuit. But as is such with Vince McMahon, they were quick to reply. But we learned a couple things in the lawsuits that we'll go over. So let's take a look here. A couple things that came out in the lawsuit that we'll talk about. We're gonna get in better detail, but the bigger one was that they were maybe possibly looking to sell by July, mid-July, late July. And even at the time, I looked at that and I said, well, that doesn't mean that they're going to come back. It means that, it could come back. They could sell some of the assets. They could sell just the equipment, the names, who knows what, right? So that didn't mean much to me. But here's what we're going to talk about. Vince McMahon's response to Oliver Luck's lawsuit. Well, really, it came from one of his lawyers, and there's way more details here. We're gonna get into the dirty, the skinny, and I'm not a lawman by any means, but I'm going to do my best to give you the details. So Vince McMahon and company, his attorney's response to Oliver Luck's lawsuit. Oliver Luck's services as commissioner and CEO of the XFL were terminated by a letter sent to him on April 9, 2020, which explained the reasons for the termination. As to the lawsuit he filed, his allegations will be disputed and the position of Mr. McMahon will be set forth in our response to his lawsuit. So, of course, with such things, we have some more details on the lawsuit. So what are the reasons that Oliver Luck was let go from the XFL right before bankruptcy, right before the league would be held responsible for his compensation? What are these reasons? And I'm going to censor a couple words here, and this is mainly because YouTube, they don't like certain words. I'm sorry. So, reason number one, gross neglect of the job once the blah, 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 blah began, according to McMahon. Luck effectively abandoned his responsibilities beginning March 13th by relocating from the XFL offices in Stamford to his home in Indiana and failing to devote substantially all of his business time to his XFL duties as required by the contract. Now, these are some damning claims, right? We only heard one side of the story so far. In response to the letter, Luck's attorney said Luck was unable to return to the office because of Connecticut's March 20 stay-at-home order. Luck was in contact with McMahon via text message, and his attorney's letter listed the projects he was working on, including 2021 budget. So he was working on things. And from what we've heard from former presidents and other executives in the league, when they did suspend the season, it seemed like there was a lot of things in motion towards that 2021 season. So that seems to back it up. Reason number two, and this one's a little funny to me, but not as funny as the last one. Let's just do that so we don't spoil it here. So reason number two, signing wide receiver Antonio Callaway without McMahon's approval and then refusing to release him when McMahon ordered him to do so. McMahon said publicly that he did not want to sign players with problematic backgrounds. So most recently, for some background, Callaway was suspended by the NFL for violating its substance abuse policy. He suffered an injury during the XFL's January training camp and was placed on injury reserve. Luck's response to the letter stating Callaway didn't violate XFL's policy as written, and that Luck was responding to McMahon's request to elevate wide receiver talent in the league. And a couple things to mention here. So Callaway actually never even played it down in the league. And it seemed to me that, I know McMahon publicly said that he didn't want people with what they state here, problematic backgrounds or criminal backgrounds. But they seem to have walked that back by the time that Callaway was signed. Either way, okay, that's reason number two. Now, number three, this is probably the most egregious, the most silly, the most ridiculous reasoning of them all. But let's just look at it. So the personal use of an XFL-issued iPhone, an allegation that was not mentioned in the original termination letter. The phone is being forensically examined to determine the extent of Luck's personal phone, according to McMahon's filing. There's also some things in there about stadiums, but after objecting to that, that was taken out. So again, Luck's attorneys responded to this as well, and it says Oliver is thrilled that this can be aired in the court of public opinion because his position is that he was wrongfully terminated, and that comes from one of his attorneys. Where do I stand on this? Well, I wasn't there. So it's really hard to say one way or another. But I probably, I think that this was a way, when you look at, so one of the things that we've learned out of this is roughly how much Oliver Luck had made. And it sounds like between 20 to 25 million over a 5-year stretch, I believe. I could be wrong on that. So again, fact check me, sign me up. So that, again, this could just be a way for McMahon to save money. So when booting this league, it's one less cost that he has to pay. So what do we know, right? So what do we know? Well, we know that Daniel Kaplan of The Athletic is reporting that XFL creditors seem to believe that McMahon is positioning himself to buy the league out of bankruptcy. So we're going to talk about that season ticket refund here. So the big objection to the proposal right now is the money for the season ticket refund. So why? So when you look at it, Ticketmaster didn't really refund the tickets, the season ticket holders. That money came from Vince McMahon. He lent the money to the XFL, essentially making him a creditor of the league. And in doing that, again, you can look at this fairly strategic that he did this to make sure that his consumers weren't damaged or scorned in this process. The fans. He put fans first. So, again, maybe he didn't know if the XFL was going to return, or maybe he still had it in the back of his head, or whatever the plan may have been at the time. But he knew that by refunding season ticket holders, if he was going to return, that the fans wouldn't be as angry as they could be, like maybe they would have been with the AAF, right? You look at the AAF, fans didn't get refunded. Nobody got money out of that deal. So there's that. So I think that's a lot of the reasoning on the speculation that Vince McMahon may be trying to buy the league back. Now that alone doesn't, that's not enough proof for me, right? That doesn't seem like enough proof that Vince or McMahon or whoever it may be is buying the league. That being said, there is more evidence that the XFL may be returning. So what cities are in play here? We have amazingly, again, if you would have asked me this Monday last week, I would have said maybe news that it might be coming back, maybe news that there might be a buyer, but I didn't expect to even hear city news. So again, according to the report from Kaplan, the XFL's president, Jeffrey Pollock, and a couple other representatives have reached out to the cities of St. Louis and Seattle about restarting the league's lease agreement. Well, that's pretty crazy. Now that to me, that's some hard evidence. So that's not it, right? So what else? What other city do we have? So Mark Berman of Fox 26, local Fox affiliate here in Houston, is reporting that two XFL representatives contacted the University of Houston, that's where TDECU Stadium is, where the Roughnecks played, about seeing if they could get their rental and practice agreements that were in place with the Roughnecks reinstated, so if there was an acquisition, those would be utilized. So that's 3 of the 8. We can I don't think I talk about it in this article, but we do know some speculatory other locations of where we might see some teams land. So before the league suspended the season, before they filed Chapter 11 bankruptcy, they were looking at moving a couple of their teams, right? It looked like it was possibly the Vipers, the Wildcats, and the Guardians. One of the locations that they were looking at was San Antonio, Texas, which, as you know, was home to the San Antonio Commanders of the AAF. That doesn't necessarily mean that it would be like the Renegades moving, but we could see maybe the Vipers or the Wildcats, maybe the Guardians, maybe the DC Defenders, because DC, if you didn't know, that's another expensive area, right? When you look at the costs here, Audi was a perfect stadium for the XFL, but then you look at New York, it's just too damn big. It's just too damn big. So I think we end up with 3 Texas teams, or Dallas moves down to San Antonio. I think Los Angeles either moves to San Diego or Oakland. Maybe Las Vegas comes into play. But it seems like St. Louis, the Houston Roughnecks, and the Seattle Dragons, it seems like if the XFL returns, their locations are safe, which I'm super happy about, because if you didn't know, the XFL Newsroom HQ is here in H-Town. So either way, it sounds like if the original reports were true, we'll probably know the answer to all this by mid-July. If the XFL returns, though, let's say if all of this is true, I'm going to clap back like a crazy person. If all of this is true, it's still going to be a long road. It's going to be a long road for the XFL to return. So one, we know Oliver Luck is not coming back. And again, he was, in my opinion, one of the main reasons that the XFL was successful. So there's some big shoes to fill there. The players, to a certain extent, I think the players will come. I think there's people that want to play football. The coaches, again, I don't know. I don't know. Are we going to see all the coaches come back? Absolutely not. We know Pep Hamilton's not coming back. He's over there with the Chargers. Bob Stoops, maybe not. We could see him move on clearly before then. And then what about, when does it start? Because it can't start in 2021. I mean, it could. The AAF did it, but that was a complete, crapshoot. And it didn't last and it didn't work. The XFL took its time. You got to look back. They announced in 2018 and didn't kick off until 2020, right? So they're going to have to do all of that work again. We have some of the stadiums. We have the names. We have the identities. But there's going to be a lot of rebuilding here. Either way, it's going to be a long road ahead of them. I really hope it works out, like I said, because I love the XFL. I know y'all love the XFL. We ran a poll on Twitter, and I was amazed. I was surprised by the response. We said, would you support the XFL if it returned? And it was like 93% yes. Damn. Sign them up. So either way, we'll keep you posted. So as you know, we run XFL Newsroom. We have a couple other projects going on because, as you know, XFL News is a little slow right now. I didn't even know the XFL Newsroom would still be around right now until like last Tuesday. So this week in the XFL, that will probably come back if the league comes back. I know we're still working with a lot of the guys from the XFL Newsroom team. So the XFL Newsroom Unhinged podcast, they're still around, but now they're the Shooting Gallery Wrestling podcast. So you can still check them out a couple times a week over on their own YouTube channel. I'll amend the description. I'll put a link down there after the stream. But they're part of one of our other side projects. So we have the XFL Newsroom. We also have the Pro Wrestling Newsroom. So as you would imagine, you can go over to PW Newsroom over on Twitter, PW or ProWrestlingNewsroom.com on all of your favorite browsers to get all the latest pro wrestling news. We'll be talking about that on streams a little bit as well. But we also have a new account that we started just the other day for just all sports. So you can go over to Twitter at Sports Newsroom. And that's going to be kind of a central hub for all things sports. We'll talk about, MLB, NHL, NBA, NFL, XFL, pro wrestling, all of those good things. So we're just going to keep building up the brand, and kind of keep going with where we're going. So make sure you subscribe to all of our folks. I know, again, if the XFL returns, we're going to be, we'll have more of our podcast coming back. I know, what was the podcast I was going to, the Battlecast. I'm sorry, Jake. The Battlecast is talking about returning if the XFL is coming back. I know Tron Hawkins will come back if the XFL returns. And I wouldn't put it past old J-Dash to have an opinion over there and bring back the Unhinged podcast if the XFL returns as well. But like I said, we're going to cap this stream off here. Let us know in the comments. Did you like the new format? We're going to try this out. I don't know what the cadence is going to be. Probably, like I said, Saturday. We're going to do a Sign Me Up Saturday. But right now, we're going to open up some of these XFL cards. And let me pull up the XFL Card Cam 2000. See, we're getting really big here. We have multiple camera angles. So now you get to see two of me until we look at these cards. So, well, actually, let's take a look at the box here. We're not even doing a proper unboxing. So this is why I have the second camera, by the way. It makes it really easy to kind of like show you this, talk here. So this is what the top set looks like. As you would know, if you went to Topps.com, these bad boys sold out pretty quick. They have these. This is the hobby box. So this comes with 10 packs of 10 each, so 100 cards. And then this is, what do they call this one? I can't remember. This is the big old box. This is the Cool Daddy Beans box, the big boy, the pride of the nation. This one has 24 packs, 10 cards per pack, 3 autographs guaranteed per box. So this one, we're doing this one on Saturday for Sign Me Up Saturday, and we're going to be looking at some weird clips. Like I said, look up Behind the Bash if you've never heard of it, but we're going to be looking at that Bat Boy. I don't know. We're going to be doing all sorts of boys. Well, that didn't come out the way I wanted it to. Either way, it's Memorial Day. Let's look at some of these cards. So today we're going to look at the hobby box. I don't know if we're going to go through the whole thing, but let's see what we get, right? I'm really trying to get a full set here. I can't remember. I don't have the list in front of me, but I believe there's a little under 200 cards per set. So let's see. Let's see what we got here. Clearly the one I want is the signed PJ Walker. If I can get a signed PJ Walker, I will be happy. But hey, we're starting it off strong. We got Landry Jones here. This was clearly taken before the season ended here. Got some nice stats here. Dejan Allen, guard for the Battlehawks, fan favorite team. Well, I'm so excited that they have these. Oh, speaking of which, before we go on, if you missed out on the XFL cards, check your local Targets. I went out into the wasteland yesterday. I went to Target. They had the XFL cards in stock. I didn't pick any up. I actually wanted to leave them for the fans since I have a couple boxes here. If they're there in a couple weeks, I'll probably pick them up. Or if I don't finish the set out of these two boxes, maybe I'll pick up another one in hopes that I do so. Michael Dunn, guard for the Dragons. Funny story about this guy. We were at the last Roughnecks home game against the Dragons. And this guy was going to the locker room, and there was a bunch of rowdy Roughnecks fans screaming at him from the smoking section, telling him that he was dragging ass. And he just turned around, gave him the one-finger salute, and I love that. So sign you up, Michael Dunn. I remember that moment. I remember it well. We have safety from the Dragons here. I'm sorry, Santos Ramirez. Here we go. We're making some headway here. No Roughnecks yet. I'm a little bummed out about that. Nelson Spruce, though, had a few good games there for the Wildcats. They were kind of getting into their own near the end of that half season. Anthony Coyle, defensive lineman for the Guardians here. All right. Still no Roughnecks. I'm a little sad about this. Ooh, Taylor Heineke, quarterback for the Battlehawks. Looking there in his little practice jersey getting signed up. Jaquan Gardner, running back for the Dragons. I'll take that. Sign me up. See, are these numbered on the back? They are. Okay, so there's at least 160. This one's at 160. See, this is why I use the other camera, because it doesn't focus too well. There we go. I guess it does a little bit. Either way, maybe we'll switch this up for the next week. I don't know. Bradley Silve, cornerback for the DC Defenders. Maybe, let's see. Yeah, maybe we will turn that camera off. I don't like that secondary camera as much as I thought I would. You get the weird side view, and you can really see how horrible in quarantine hair. It's bad. It's bad. All right, we're turning that bad boy off. And Nick Truesdell, tight end for the Vipers. Another one. We missed out on a lot of, I guess I probably need to cover my face for it to focus. There we go. Yeah, we missed out on a lot of, wrapping up those storylines in the XFL. Like what was going to happen over there in Tampa Bay? What was going to happen up in New York? Man. So again, it leaves me wanting more. It definitely does. But, at the same time, man, what a tough ending. So Christine Michael, running back for the Battlehawks. There we go. Again, I'm getting a lot of Battlehawks cards here. Kason Williams, wide receiver. And what I might do here is once we're done with this, I'll probably go through the duplicates and just give them away. Maybe we'll do some kind of giveaway on this channel again. Nick Novak, kicker for the Wildcats. I like that. I like that pose. Getting signed up there. Ooh, I saw it. All right. Now this is the one. This is the one for silly reasons and silly reasons alone. I really wanted it. The Winston Moss, head coach, Wildcats. I'm loving I'm loving the attitude in the picture there. He's ready to scream at you. Dude's a monster. All right, we have our first Roughnecks card, and I can't believe I haven't mentioned it yet. The Roughnecks were undefeated, 5-0. Khalil Lewis, wide receiver. He got a couple points there. He made some movement. All right. We have our first autograph. We have Marquise Williams, quarterback for the Guardians. That's an interesting one, but I'll take it. I'm excited to have it. I'll take any autograph cards I can get. All right. Carlos Merritt, safety for the DC Defenders. All right. Khalid Abdullah, running back for the Defenders. Getting a couple consecutive ones here. Oh, all right. Cheeseburger. Me and Cardale, we're on the same diet, brother. I'll tell you what. Cheeseburger diet all day and night. Cardale Jones, DC Defenders. Cheese him up. Keenan Reynolds, wide receiver for the flippin' Dragons. Okay, we're 2 packs down. I don't know if we're going to get through this whole box today, but we're going to go through some. Like I said, we'll probably do the full big box on Saturday. Sign me up Saturday. Let's see what we got here. Okay, Jonathan Alston, cornerback for the Dragons. Okay, another Dragon here. Niles Morgan, linebacker for the Dragons, as we just mentioned. Okay. All right. Nikita Whitlock, defensive tackle for the Vipers. Sign him up. Trey Williams, linebacker. Wildcats. Ooh, all right. I like this one. So we already had an autograph, but this is our first special card. It's the Stars of the XFL, and I'm liking this one. I'm liking it a lot. It's Andre Williams, running back for the Roughneck. All right. I'm liking the little designs here. Okay. Ooh, I like this one a lot too. Taylor Cornelius, quarterback for the Vipers. There was a little bit of back and forth down there in Tampa Bay. He was doing a pretty good job. Matt Jones, running back for the Battlehawks. All right. Jalen McClendon, quarterback for the Wildcats. Didn't see a lot of action, but he did well in the preseason. Harris, cornerback for the Roughnecks. Sign me up on another Roughneck. And Dorrant Grant for the Defenders. So I don't think I've had any duplicates. We're 3 packs in, and I don't think I've had a double yet. So sign me up. So chat, has anybody else gotten their hands on the XFL trading cards? I know they went pretty fast. I don't know if I know they did come back in stock over at Topps.com, but I don't know if they're still in stock. Like I said, if you didn't, check out Target. But if anybody got any, what's the coolest card y'all got? Let us know in the chat. Let us know in the comments if you're watching this on replay here. Okay, sign me up on another Roughneck. Jalen Sanders for wide receiver for the Roughnecks. Sign me up. Ooh. Okay, this is one. It's not a PJ Walker, but I like it. Let me take a little bit of claw here. Oh yeah. Michigan State legend Connor Cook, backup quarterback for the Roughnecks. I'm liking that. Oh man, back-to-back goodies and goldies here. Quarterback for the Guardians, Matt McGloin. I know someone in the chat, they got a certain nickname for him. Okay, man, we are just knocking it out with the quarterbacks not signed. But here's the one. PJ Flippin' Walker, quarterback for the Roughnecks. Oh, yes. I'm excited about that one. Okay. Joe Powell, safety for the Battlehawks. Man, those are 3. Oh, man. This is like the quarterback pack. Quentin Flowers, quarterback / running back for the Vipers. Again, he made a name for himself. People really wanted him in there as the starter. Gabe Wright, defensive tackle for the Roughnecks. Kermit Whitfield, wide receiver for the Wildcats. Oh, this pack has been solid. This pack has been good. Marquette King, punter for the Wildcat. Not the Wildcats, the Battlehawks. Jeez, what is wrong with me? And John Santiago, wide receiver for the Dragons. So, okay, maybe we do a couple more, and then we cap this bad boy off. I know we started out strong. Now it's getting a little boring. I don't know how people do the unboxing streams. I can't make them exciting. But I do like me some sports cards. I love me some XFL. So we're going to do it. Oh, so we got our first duplicate here. Landry Jones. This is going in the giveaway pile. Landry Jones is now in the giveaway pile. Marshawn Diggs, safety for the Wildcats. Okay. Marcus Lucas, wide receiver for the Battlehawks, which sounds like is going to be returning if they come back. Drayvon Askew Henry, safety for the Guardians, New York Guardians. Willie Mays III, defensive end for the Wildcats. All right. Okay. Larry Rose, running back, Wildcats. Getting a lot of Wildcats in this pack. All right. This one I'm down with too. This one I'm super down with. Sam Mobley, wide receiver, Roughnecks. Flynn Nagel, wide receiver, Renegades. Not getting a lot of Renegades in here. I got a Landry Jones. DeAndre Tompkins, wide receiver, striking a hell of a pose there for the defenders. I'm liking it. I'm liking it a lot. Tanner McAvoy, wide receiver for the Vipers. Okay. All right. So that's halfway through. Maybe we ended it out. I don't know. I don't flipping know. We're getting there. Like I said, this Saturday we'll have some more exciting things. We're just kind of testing out this format. May bring the green screen back. I don't know. Maybe we'll test it out. We will see. Okay, D'Angelo Yancey, wide receiver for the Guardians. I'm down with that one. Sign me up. Okay, Andrew McDonald, offensive tackle for the Battlehawks. Hopefully the volume's working. Nobody's really commented on that, but I would assume people would say that they can't hear me. Ben Johnson, tight end for the Dragons. Sign him up there. Dylan Day, guard for the Dragons. Getting a lot of Dragons in this pack. Davion Smith, running back for the Vipers. Look at him there. He's running right away. Ooh, Trayvon Sanders. Look at him. Talk about cheeseburger diet. Me and him could go to lunch one day. I'll tell you what. Oh, this is another one. This one I like. Taylor Russolino. I hope I said that right. Kicker for the Battlehawks. Dude had some baller kicks in the dome. I think what was his long? 52, 53 yards? Maybe 58, if memory serves me correctly. Either way, the dude was knocking in over 50-yard kicks. I can't believe he hasn't been signed by the NFL somewhere. But if the XFL returns, I could definitely see him back. Rennell Hall, defensive back for the Vipers. Okay. Eli Rogers, wide receiver, defenders. Scooby Wright, linebacker for the DC Defenders. Another former AAF guy there, Scooby Wright. All right, you know what? We got 4 left. Let's just round these bad boys out. Let's just get these done. We'll do the big one. Like I said, Saturday. Sign me up Saturday. Oh, this is another good one. Mark Trestman, head coach, GM, Tampa Bay Vipers. Really hoping to get that June Jones. Oh, another duplicate. This is going into the giveaway pile. Nelson Spruce, wide receiver for the Wildcats. Okay, 2 in the duplicate pile. Terrence Garvin, linebacker for the Battlehawks. Ooh, okay. BJ Daniels, quarterback for the Dragons. Okay, all right. Big Game Bob Stoops, head coach GM of the Renegades. I'm liking that one. Really still want that June Jones. Was hoping I clairvoyantly called it. But let's see. DeAndre Wesley, tackle for the DC Defenders. Nick Truesdale. We got another duplicate going in the giveaway pile. Nick Truesdale, tight end, Vipers. Marquise Young, running back. Sorry, not wide receiver. Running back for the Renegades. Brant Weiss, defensive tackle for the Guardians. And Jacques Smith, defensive end for the Dragons. And, so I'm using a new camera today, too, where they gave you a feature where you can use your EOS Canons as a webcam. So, I don't know. Hopefully this is coming out well. I didn't have anybody test for me. I shouldn't have had my wife bring me that claw. I wasn't even done. I do need a sip, though. Gets a little dry when you talk for an hour. Hour and 7 at this point. We're going long. We're going big. We're going home soon here. We only have 3 packs left. We'll probably put out some details on when we're going to do the Sign Me Up Saturday. I don't know if it's going to be early. Probably around this time, because if I stay up too late, I'm not going to want to get up early. Just not going to want to do it. Okay, so let's see. Jamar Summers, cornerback for them Guardians. Darren Smith, safety for the Renegades. Leonard Tillery, running back for the Battlehawks. Channing Stribley, cornerback for the Dragons. Maybe that's another thing we'll do this Saturday is we'll talk about the players that moved from the XFL into the NFL or the CFL, because there's a good list of them now. Maybe we'll put that on the docket for Saturday. Excuse me. Saturday as well. Deontrez Mount, defensive end for the Vipers. Sorry if I pronounced that wrong. Oh, I like this one too. Aaron Murray. I think I got all the quarterbacks for the Vipers now. Completed that quarterback collection. This one's solid too. Mikhail McKay. Sign him up. Wide receiver for the Guardians. Joshua Crockett. Wide receiver for the Renegades. James DeHagen. Bet he could have a good beer with you. Center for the Defenders. Elijah Campbell, cornerback for the Defenders. Okay, 2 packs left. As guaranteed, we got at least one autographed in the hobby box. Marquise Williams. Maybe we'll get lucky. Maybe we'll get a second. Maybe we will. There's a full checklist online that you can look and see what all the cards are. But I don't have it in front of me. But Saeed Blacknell, wide receiver for the Wildcats. Stanley Maponga, defensive end for the Dragons. Durant Miles, defensive end for the Dragons. Jalen Collins, cornerback for the Vipers. Come on, focus now. Why don't you want to focus? Okay, well, that's a cursed card, I guess. It's a cursed one. Oh, now this one is cool. So, again, not an autograph. Another special card. What are these ones called? I guess these are just special coaches card. This is number 63 out of 99. The only thing that would make it better is if you had the double headphones on. Jerry Glanville, defensive coordinator of the Vipers. Which, if the XFL returns, I could see him maybe being a head coach for the Vipers. Yeah, I could see him maybe coming back. C.C. Jefferson, defensive end for the Vipers. A lot of Vipers in this pack. A Vipers pack we got. All right. Brandon Silvers, quarterback for the Dragons. I think I might have completed the quarterback set for the Dragons now as well. Ryan Mueller, linebacker for the Guardians. Nick Temple, solid player, linebacker, Dragons. And Connor Hamlet, tight end for the Dragons. Okay, last pack. So far we got an autograph, a Stars of the XFL, and some type of limited edition coaches card. I completed the quarterback set for the Roughnecks. I know that. Didn't get a signed PJ Walker, but we got a PJ Walker. We got a Connor Cook. I believe I got all the quarterbacks for the Dragons and no, I didn't get a Josh Johnson yet. But I did get I believe I got them all for the Vipers and I didn't get a Perez yet. But, starting out strong, talking to quarterbacks, Jordan Teamu, quarterback for the Battlehawks. Now he's with the Chiefs. So that's pretty cool. All right. Ahmad Dixon, safety for the Wildcats. We're almost done here. Andre Williams, running back for the Roughnecks. That may be a duplicate. I can't remember. I'll go through these again. This duplicate list is going to get much bigger next week when we do the big boy. So there's going to be more. Freddie Martino, wide receiver for the Renegades. Okay, what do we got here? Oh, this is another solid one right here. Donald Parham, tight end for the Renegades. Oh, okay, so we got another Marquise Williams, not a signed one. Marquise Williams, quarterback for the Guardians. Ooh, I like this one too. DeMorning Pearson L, wide receiver, Battlehawks. Willie Beavers, defensive tackle for the Renegades. All right, 2 cards left. Malcolm Bunch, defensive tackle for the DC Defenders. Part of the Boozer Bunch. If you watch That's Good Sports. So this is the last card. Hopefully it doesn't disappoint. Let's see what we got here. I'll take it. Nothing spectacular or special. We got Derek Hayward, tight end for the Defenders. So that's it. That's the first 100 cards. And quite honestly, okay, let me say this. Out of the hobby box, comes with 100 cards, only 3 duplicates that I've gotten. That's not bad. That's not bad. So I have 97 of roughly, I want to say it's around 200 card set, maybe 190. We'll have a specific total for you Saturday. So hopefully with this bad boy, we can round out our full set. I'll probably get these all cased up by then too, so we can see visually what we're missing, what we're not. And like I said, this one, 3 autographs guaranteed per box. 24 packs of 240 cards right here. 240 cards right here. That might be the amount of the set. I can't remember. I'll have to look it up. I'm too lazy to do it right now. Either way, we've been going on for like an hour and 15 minutes. I'm glad you joined us. I'm glad you came back. I'm glad you stuck through. And I hope you come back next Saturday. Sign me up Saturday, or this Saturday, really. So just in just a couple days here, about 5 days away from Sign Me Up Saturday, we're going to be opening up this bad boy. We're going to be looking at Behind the Bash. We're going to have probably some updates on sports, maybe some updates on the XFL. Either way, thanks for joining us. Since we're on YouTube, though, make sure you drop a like, comment, subscribe, click the bell, see when we're dropping new videos. Some are going to be pre-recorded. Some are going to be live just like this one. Head over to Twitter. Make sure you follow the Shooting Gallery Wrestling Podcast. Make sure you follow XFL Newsroom, PW Newsroom, Sports Newsroom. Check out xflnewsroom.com daily or whenever news comes out. Make sure you check out PW Newsroom for pro wrestling news. And it's good to be back, folks. I'll tell you what, it's been a while, but it's good to be back. We're going to work on this stream, this format. We're probably going to make it a lot better than it is right now. The audio is going to get better. The camera's going to get better. We might bring back the green screen. I don't know. We haven't figured it out. Let us know what you liked. Let us know what you didn't like. We want to know. All right. But the ref is back. Thank you, Gwenny Rose, for subscribing. We appreciate it. And I probably should have met. I'm the worst YouTuber. If you subscribe, your name appears on the screen just like that. But until next time, like I said, sign me up Saturday. Probably midday, probably around the same time, 1 Eastern-ish. We'll see. I'll let you know on social media. But until next time, boom, sign you up. And thanks for coming back with me. It's been fun.